must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
I'm joining the World Health Organization's Safe Hands Challenge. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of coronavirus. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 40 to 60 seconds.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
I'm joining the World Health Organization's Safe Hands Challenge. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of coronavirus. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 40 to 60 seconds.
Twelve minutes past noon here in Nairobi. A very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining me again. We had our first show there, Good Morning Africa, and now we're back with the Diaspora Dispatches. And I know lately we've not been able to discuss a lot of other news making headlines across the globe. I was shocked this morning to learn that Guinea actually went through with its controversial referendum to change the constitution yesterday. Mr. Alpha Conde took advantage of the way things are in the world, and they sneaked in. They had that referendum yesterday that saw a couple of people killed, about 10 of them. And so there are other things that are happening in this continent that we must speak about, even as we continue to look at the corona virus and how it has affected Africa. And so we shall look at that and a few countries across the continent. So we shall see how they have been dealing with this and some of the measures they have been putting in place, even as we continue to look at other news that are making headlines across this continent. I'm looking at the statistic here, and I don't know if further I should be worried, but not so much, because so far even the number of infections that Africa is registering, it's still minimum. So I don't know how we can keep it there. I don't know how we can keep it there, but I think one of the things that Africans, the rest of us, will agree is if you don't have to come from Europe or other parts of the world, can you just sit there, and then after things have calmed down, then you can come back home? We miss you too, but not now. Can you not come back? Because a lot of these cases that have been recorded are from outside the continent. So please, if you love us that much, and I know you do, all our brothers and sisters who are out there, just stay over there for now, and then after everything has come down, you can come back home and you can have a big fat party, a welcome home party for you. All right? Okay, that is just on a lighter note, but very important. So thank you so much, even as we continue to look at these figures and these numbers this morning. Before I get into the news, let's just look at some of the measures that some African states have put in place. And we've seen Egypt and Nigeria shut down all airports. Oh, did I tell you? Atiku Abubakar, I think yesterday, confirmed that his son has tested positive for the coronavirus. He is the official opposition leader there in Nigeria, and Mr. Buhari is one of the daughters also who traveled into the country last week from UK, is also under self-quarantine because she just had to come back, and they're being told to stay over there. So she's traveled back to Nigeria, and so she's not tested positive yet. We don't know, but they're saying she's self-isolating. So, well, that's good. And Rwanda now finds company guilty of price gouging. You know, price gouging, I explained earlier. These are people who take advantage of, say, such a situation now, and you'll find even in the Kenyan supermarkets, the government had to come out and really speak against these very bad manners. You see that the essential products that people need right now, something like a sanitizer, some, supermarkets had gone out and overpriced some of these very essential products right now to try to make a kill while Kenyans are suffering and take advantage of a very unfortunate situation. And so by hiking these commodities that are required right now, so that is what is called price gouging, just increasing the price for no reason at all to take advantage of the need for it in the market. So Rwanda now has put in measures and said if anybody will practice this very immoral thing, then you'll have to deal with the government with that. And we've seen MTN Nigeria, Cameroon tweak mobile money charges. They've reduced. I don't know if you're from Nigeria, you can tell me. And then Africa finance ministers meet EACA boss via technology. That's very good. Self-distancing. And also Nigeria to slash a budget. I was not sure which budget is this that the Nigerian government wants to slash. And also Ghana, Kenya telcos review mobile money charges. This is in line with, helping and measures that some African countries have taken place in terms of coping with this new coronavirus. So we've seen a country like Kenya and Ghana now reviewing the money charges, mobile money charges. South Africa Apex Bank once again as currency scam. Nigeria reduces petrol price. Rwanda, Ethiopia have to control prices of essentials, and Namibia's economy right now has been hit so badly. Zimbabwe suspends international trade fair, and Africa Airlines to lose big. That is according to IATA. That is the international air travels here in Africa. So that is just in a nutshell of what is happening in Africa at a glance in line with this coronavirus. We're trying to work on getting Dr. Matsanga online. He's joining us from the Political Command Center. I don't know if he's ready to join us now. Can we just go to Doctor as we speak, or they're still working on it? So once he's ready to join us, all right, I think he is. Doctor, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, viewers, wherever you work. Thank you very much. This is Punchline Africa Command, Political Command Center, right from destination, wherever we are. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching us. Keep watching us and keep giving us the views. Let's transmit the main message. Wash your hands. Keep social distance. Call the numbers of your country. Wherever you are, the medical services must have given a number where you can call. Make it clear that you have these symptoms. Stay away where necessary. Don't come to the public. Don't spread it to the public. Don't sneeze in the public. Uganda, anyway, there's sneezing and there is coughing. Those are two different things. Don't sneeze. I have liked the way the taxi drivers in Uganda have done have you seen on social media? Taxi drivers have now got a jerrycan or a pump and have fixed it on top of the taxi. So the pipe comes near the door. So let's be imaginative. Follow the instructions of the police, the government, the security agencies. When they tell you don't gather, don't crowd, don't go to churches, you can see all countries are doing all manner of measures. Thank you. I watched you in the first phase, and most of the things that appeared in Kenya, we have very many bad people, some of them who don't follow the law. You can, I think if the pictures that are coming now from internet, we have a problem now. This guy moved to so many places and got so many people involved. So this is not a very good thing at all. As we are waiting for the State House, I think briefing, has it come yet?
No, but we're waiting for it. I think they're getting ready. And once it's there, we shall just go straight to State House, but not yet.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm here. That I've tested your microphone and we are online. And you'll give me a few minutes to arrange another equipment that will see you properly so that you don't lose me on the satellite.
All right, and as Dr. Matsanga works on that, can I just take us through the other news making headlines across Africa? And when he came back, after he's fixed that, and then we can just continue to talk about the situation in Africa right now. So we start with Guinea, and opposition activists in Guinea say at least 10 people have been killed in street clashes during Sunday's controversial referendum on a new constitution. Critics say that the vote a ploy by President Alpha Conde to stay in power beyond his mandate. The deaths occurred in the capital, Conakry, where police fired tear gas to disperse demonstrators, and opposition supporters attacked the police, burned polling centers, and destroyed voting equipment. Mr. Conde, 82, insists that the new constitution will bring about positive reforms, especially for women. Why did he have to bring women into that madness? And then we go to Nigeria, and doctors won't go on strike indefinitely in Nigeria after not being paid for months because they have called off the strike. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors said in a statement on Sunday that they will decide to call off the action for the sake of humanity. It said, considering the recent coronavirus cases in the country and the commitment shown by stakeholders in the health sector, they would suspend their strike. Nigeria confirmed 4 new cases of coronavirus on Sunday, bringing its total to 25. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control confirmed that all the new cases had traveled from high-risk countries in the last week. Why? And still in Nigeria, like why are they traveling from high-risk countries to anywhere in Africa? Come on now. And still in Nigeria, the Lagos State, Nigeria's commercial hub has asked a category of civil servants to stay at home for the next 14 days, effective on Monday, March 23rd. That is today. The move is connected to the coronavirus pandemic, which has forced most states in the country to close schools. The announcement was made by Governor Jide Sanwo Olu on Sunday. According to him, about 70% of the Lagos workforce will be directly affected. He also tasked the members of the public to stay away from government offices and to use phone and internet channels as best as possible. And also another news from Nigeria that I was not able to compile here earlier. The IG, Inspector General of Police, is telling people not to go to the police stations. If you don't have to go to the police stations, don't even go visiting any of your members of your family who is in the police cell. So they're telling you stay away from the police stations. In other words, criminal activities will be rife at this time because a lot of criminals will take advantage of this situation. And in South Africa, a South African government minister has apologized after a video of her complaining about measures introduced to curb the spread of the coronavirus was shared online. This is what she said in the video. Stay at home if you can. I'm finding it difficult to stay at home. Virus, just go away. We have a life to live. That is the Social Development Minister, Lindiwe Zulu, and she was caught saying that in a video on Instagram. And she's a minister. All right, so several people on social media condemned Ms. Zulu and suggested that she should be reprimanded. She should be fired. Like, what are you telling people? The government is halting the flights, is having people stay at home, and you, a whole minister, you're going to come out there and say, you know what, I'll just go about my life. You have a life to live. We all have a life to live, and because we want to live, then we have to protect those lives away from the harm of, catching this COVID-19. So that was very careless of that minister from South Africa. And I've noted she's very controversial. It's not the first time that I'm reading about her. I think she's the same minister who went to which part of Europe? Geneva, Switzerland, and I think she was to account for some money, or I don't know what had happened, and she said, no, I was not in Switzerland, I was in Geneva. So she couldn't even tell the difference, and I understand that Geneva is actually the capital city of Switzerland. I think she's the same minister, so I'm not surprised that she's doing this. Government of South Africa. You don't have to have such people serving the nation because leaders should lead by example. And so we move on, and a coronavirus support from CEO of Alibaba, global e-commerce giant, has arrived in Ethiopia. The consignment was flown in by Ethiopian Airlines from Guangzhou to Addis Ababa. This is according to Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and support includes 1.1 million testing kits, 6 million masks, and 60,000 protective suits to be distributed throughout Africa. Distribution to other countries will begin as of today, the Prime Minister said. Remember, the Alibaba, the CEO of Alibaba, gave a lot of help to Africa in terms of the kits and the protective kits and all of that, the mask and the testing kits that a lot of Africans are missing in able to detect some of these cases. And so they were being flown into Addis Ababa. And the reason why they were being flown into Addis Ababa, because that is where, the headquarters of the African Union are based. And then from there, they will be distributed across Africa. Okay, so all countries in Africa, I think, will receive that. I don't have the numbers. We had them here the other day. There's a particular amount of all these things that will be distributed, I think, equally in all the 54 states in Africa. So that's very good, Mr. Jack Ma there. So we go to South Sudan, and the presidential convoy was Sunday morning involved in a car accident when the president was heading to St. Teresa Cathedral from Tambora Road, where he attended the installation of the new Archbishop of Juba. The president was not hurt. And then we go to Egypt, and Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said his government is dealing with the coronavirus pandemic with full transparency and denied allegations that the infection rate is being suppressed. Egypt has recorded 33 new coronavirus cases, the health ministry said on Sunday, raising its total number to 327. The ministry confirmed 4 new deaths, bringing the number of fatalities to 14. But speculations that the real figures are higher has circulated on social media in recent weeks. And in case you're wondering why Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has to speak about it, because as we speak now, Egypt is the country that is leading here in Africa in terms of the number of infections and deaths. I think by the time I was coming here, it was standing at 14 people have already died in Egypt. And also in the number of infections, also it's still leading, and then followed by South Africa. I think a doctor is back, so perhaps we should have Dr. Matsanga back. He's at the Political Command Center. And so, Doctor, good afternoon. We're just looking at some of the news-making headlines across Africa, even as we look at how the different countries in Africa are dealing with this coronavirus pandemic. And now Egypt's president is coming out and saying the government has been transparent, because he's being accused of not having full transparency in giving out the real figures and facts on the number of infections of this coronavirus. What are some of the dangers that comes with not giving the real facts about this in the different countries?
I think, first of all, thank you very much for holding the fourth medium. I just want to be very candid and very clear that some of the things in Africa, the African countries have tried, given that they were given, and originally when this disease started, very many people were not given direct, instructions, enough time to prepare. Preparations were mad with a lot of statements coming from different directions. Therefore, I believe that this has affected very many countries in Africa that wanted to have this thing done. So, sincerely speaking, many African countries were caught unawares, and this is something. But they have tried their level best to do something. I just want to take this opportunity to thank them, for many of them have done a very good job. Many countries in Africa, if you look at Kenya, the measures that Kenya has put in place in the shortest time possible, the measures that they have put in place in the shortest time possible, bring us to where we should have started this thing way back in November, when the first cases were known in China. But give a credit where it is due. Several countries in Africa, they have tried. And if you look at, I am very, very happy that yesterday this information was passed over throughout the whole world, and especially in Kenya, and the government took a nice decision to block the airspace completely. The airspace, most of the diseases, most of the symptoms, most of the anything associated with this disease seem to be coming also in Africa by air. I think we shall cross over to State House right now in across to State House. President Uhuru Kenyatta is making a maiden speech in State House at the moment.
All right, I think our production is working on tapping that link from State House. So once it's ready, I think they will let us know. But they're working on connecting, having a connection there with.
For me, I would rather I would switch on until you come. I am eager to know exactly what the president is saying. I am switching off. I will come back.
All right.
I'll remain watching you. You have,
all right.
You have,
Okay, you keep watching me. That's very good, as our production works on getting us straight to State House, where President Uhuru Kenyatta is set to address the nation. And as we wait for that, perhaps I will complete with the rest of the news-making headlines as I was going through them earlier. And I said earlier there that Burkina Faso, 4 government ministers in Burkina Faso have been infected by the new coronavirus, according to officials, as the number of reported cases rose to 64 from 40, the highest in West Africa. The ministers of Foreign Affairs, Mines, Education and the Interior have all tested positive for COVID-19, the disease caused by the virus, a government spokesman said on Saturday. And in Zimbabwe, officials in Zimbabwe have reacted indifferently to South Africa's announcement that it planned to erect a fence along the border with its neighbor as part of measures to stem irregular migration and contain the spread of the new coronavirus. So Zimbabwe is not very happy by this move by South Africa to, I think this is something perhaps South Africa has been really looking to do. So they're just using the coronavirus as an excuse to erect a fence between its borders and Zimbabwe, because I don't see why this is necessary, owing to the fact that Zimbabwe has not even recorded any cases. So right now, let's just go all the way to State House here in Nairobi to listen.
Telkom Kenya's 4G network to areas that are not covered by any of our mobile network providers. Therefore, all Kenyans, wherever they are in our country, will enjoy access to high-speed and affordable internet services. I note the gesture by Google Loon and Telkom to offer their 4G service to support our efforts in surveillance and management of coronavirus infections, and this will go a long way in containing the present health challenge. Indeed, access to these services will keep Kenyans connected to emergency services and to their loved ones, whether isolated or in quarantine, or whether working from home or their usual workplaces. Equally, this service will also enable teachers and students to access education materials remotely, especially in this challenging time, thus enabling our students to continue learning from home. As you are all aware, my administration has developed and is implementing a comprehensive lessons program for all our learners to access while safe within their homes. On that note, I want to continue thanking members of our fourth estate who have also agreed to adjust their own daytime programming to accommodate our children at home. The Google Loon and Telkom Kenya partnership allows learners in every corner of our country to continue learning through access to soft copy edition materials and assignments. I want to thank all those in government, from the various ministries, who have worked hard over the last 2 weeks or so to fast-track this process of approval, and also on behalf of the Kenyan people, to thank Google Loon for offering this service, initially without levying any charges, for this is what true partnership between the government and the private sector means. We are currently also working on other initiatives to support our private sector during this particular difficult time. Most importantly, to ensure that they are able to continue to pay our hard-working Kenyans who have been employed by them. But we would also encourage that our companies and businesses do also that which they can to work with us and to support government during this particular period. The use of technology will increasingly become important. Only yesterday, the Kenyatta Diagnostic Center here at Kenyatta Hospital, where we have the CT scan center, we did, and it was the first to happen on the African continent using technology. They were able to remotely conference with 3 centers in China, one in Egypt, another in France, and also with Eldoret, Moi Referral Teaching Hospital, where they were able to exchange with professionals and clinical officers across the world to share both experiences and practical ways in which we can defeat this virus that is upon us. So the use of technology will continue to become increasingly important as we move forward. More updates on the state or our current state of the virus will be given later by the Ministry of Health in their regular daily briefings. But at this juncture, I cannot but continue to emphasize the need for each and every one of us to follow the protocols that have been laid out by the Ministry of Health. Most importantly, with regard to the danger posed to our population by people who flagrantly refuse to adhere to the laid down protocols. I want to once again and categorically reaffirm that the government will take the severest action against any individual who knowingly breach these laid down conventions and procedures and in turn put the rest of the population at risk. So I encourage you, each and every one of you, let us follow the guidelines as has been given by the Ministry of Health. Let us be our brother's keeper. Let us be our sister's keeper. And I am sure that if we do this, we shall overcome this particular pandemic. As I said, in a few days' time, we shall also be having a further session with private sector where we shall be announcing a raft of measures that the government will take to support our businesses and to support our people during this particularly difficult time. I thank you all, and thank you all for coming. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
I'm joining the World Health Organization's Safe Hands Challenge. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of coronavirus. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 40 to 60 seconds.
Welcome back. That was a speech from President of the Republic of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, coming to us from State House here in Nairobi, and he was just giving us a very important update, and especially now Kenyans would appreciate good services from the telecom providers here. So he's saying that the sector has decided to partner with the government to ensure that Kenyans are able to have internet internet at affordable prices and high-speed internet, so that this will be used for surveillance and also for management. And also this will help Kenyans to keep in touch with their family members, for those who are on a lockdown, for those who are quarantined, for those who are in other parts of the country. So this will help Kenyans to keep in touch with their loved ones, and also will be act as a very important source of information, because a lot of our information, you're watching me right now from online. If you're not able to have a high speed or good internet, it will be impossible. So this is a service that is particularly very important at this point in time, especially because of this social distancing, and so it's very important. So President Uhuru Kenyatta, this is something that Kenyans would really truly appreciate, and we really thank our telecommunications company who have agreed to work with the government to ensure that Kenyans are connected with their loved ones. And also very important there, what is mentioned there, that now teachers and students will be able to access education from home, and this is due to the reduced charges now and affordable internet that will be made available starting immediately, and also the high-speed internet. So you know, a lot of children now will be able to learn online, and it said that the Ministry of Education is working on such material in conjunction with Google, and so that they're able to access these learning materials online. And he also thanked the media houses in Kenya who also have agreed to change their normal programming, the day programming, to be able to accommodate these new measures, so that they're able to bring in more educative programs in line with the Kenyan education curriculum, so that our young ones continue to get education even from home. Because right now, I'm sure a lot of children, because they left school very abruptly, they don't have any homework, so things like that, so the parents don't even know what to do with them. And so right now the government will ensure that our children continue to get the education in partnership with the media houses across the country. And so this, I think, is a very noble move. And so even as the government tries to ensure that all of us are safe, President Uhuru Kenyatta also realizes there are also other sectors like education that cannot be neglected. So his government is trying to find the best way possible to ensure that the children in Kenya continue with their education even in the current circumstances. So they're currently working on another initiative, and they're asking the private sector to come in and partner with the government to ensure, even as we continue like this, the companies out there, you're being encouraged, please pay the hard-working Kenyans, like President Uhuru Kenyatta there is saying, and he understands the times are tough, and you know, your business could be affected right now, but either way, you should not use this as an opportunity now to not pay your workers. Still Kenyans who are hardworking out there, who still wake up in the morning and go to work, even despite the situation we are in. President Uhuru Kenyatta is encouraging you out there. Please ensure that they are paid. And also, he commended yesterday's Kenyatta National Hospital Diagnostic Center that was opened. I think we saw a bit of that by the CS for Health, Mr. Mutahi Kagwe, and we saw it is the first in Africa, as President Uhuru Kenyatta there has said. And we saw a conference happening between the Kenyatta National Hospital officials, and also the ministry, the CS for Health was there, Mr. Mutahi Kagwe, and also some health doctors from China, Egypt, France, and also others from Moi Referral Hospital. And we saw an exchange of experience and practical ways in which the world can curb this COVID-19. And this was made possible by technology. So it's very important. And also, he emphasized, and Kenyans, listen, if you flaunt any of these measures and these rules that the government has put in place to ensure that you're safe, then you will be on your own and you will face the law. And President Uhuru Kenyatta said there will be severe actions. And if the president is saying there will be severe actions for anybody who knowingly, you know, you've traveled from outside and you refuse to self-quarantine, you know, you probably have been in touch with somebody who has had this and has traveled out of the country, or possibly is at danger of having this COVID-19, and you knowingly go ahead and interact with other Kenyans, then you have the government to answer to. This is criminal. This is self selfish, this is very immoral, and the government now is saying that there will be severe actions against you. And what really made me happy this morning is the fact that now all the church services, all the prayers at the mosque, everything, any public gathering has been banned because Kenyans could not really adhere to this. People still went to churches, people still went about their lives. And so the government said, if we are telling you nicely and you don't listen, so now we will enforce it, and it is a law now. So, and I've seen the streets of Nairobi, some photos are being shared online. They are not as busy as they usually are, so perhaps Kenyans have begun to listen. I don't know if you're able to get back to Dr. Matanga.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
I am still here. I'm on standby. Thank you very much.
Yes.
His Excellency the President has made it. I want to take this opportunity to thank the engineers, the ICT Minister Mucheru, and all Kenya Telecom. And I want to take this credit today that 2016 we started this digital platform, Medium. I told you we were there. And we started, the only first digital television in Kenya is this one. The only one. 2016, we planned this. People told me, go and get the channel, or big the Buta TV. No. You have to try some other methods in the world and see how best we can help the world. We are going to remain as long as God gives us the breathing space, Miriam. We shall transmit to people. We shall give the information, and east or west, this is going to be the net. I bet the people are going back to e-transmission. You see the students, more of these television stations are going to come up. More of them. We have to create now online transmission from remote centers all over the country. And I knew this was going to come. I did not know that what was coming, but I had a vision that we needed a television station, online digital platform through the satellite that we shall be able to transmit without any interruption. And here we are, because now I don't think there are ingredients working in some of the BBC. They have deserted. They are using remote control elsewhere in the world. That, thank you very much, Miriam. I just want to say the president has announced measures. He has increased more toughness on those who violate these regulations. If you want to cross the Rubicon, violate one of the regulations, the government will come down in full force. Those who are trying to create more chaos instead of advocating for the best ways that the people in Kenya can save themselves. Let's save the nation first, then we work out later. We can be on a loss. Our industries can go, our economy can go, but let's save the lives. We can build these industries tomorrow. It is the Almighty God who has known the destiny. Therefore, let's not, disobey everything. Even if we lose economically, we might come back in a bigger way, helping here and there, and keeping the industry working at a scale and with regulations gives you the way out. Don't refuse to listen to what the government are saying. Watch us, keep us tuned to us. Watch www.punchlineafricatelevision.com all the way. We are online. In case we are not broadcasting live, we are online silently. Look at our programs, enjoy them, send them to many other people. Tell the world, we shall remain the voice of Africa. And we shall remain the voice of the people of Kenya. Our network is strong. All you need is to have now what the president is doing. There will be internet in almost every area in the counties where people could not reach. Thank you very much. Over to you, Miriam, in the headquarters of Punchline Africa Television from the command center of political command center of the television station.
All right, that was Dr. David Matanga, who is joining us from the Political Command Center. And we were just looking at President Uhuru Kenyatta just briefed the nation a couple of minutes ago, and we were just highlighting some of the things that the president underscored in his briefing this afternoon. And he said the CS for Health, Mr. Mutahi Kagwe, will also be giving us his daily briefs later on in the day. So before that, I think we just have a few minutes to finish the show. So I'll just take us through some of the news items that are still remaining here. Remember, this is Diaspora Dispatches, and so we look at the news making headlines across Africa. And last Friday, prisoners in one of Chad's main holding facilities attempted to force their way to freedom following restrictions imposed of visits as part of measures to control spread of the coronavirus. Now, the attempted escape took place at the prison of Amsinene. The Minister of Justice is quoted by one of the news outlets. They are saying that everything now is under control. They currently has one confirmed case. The country has one confirmed case. Borders has been shut down and a ban imposed on public gatherings. So the government of Chad said right now even prison visits will not be made possible. So what the prisoners did now, they attempted a prison break. They're trying to keep you safe in there. It's just these things in Africa that happen sometimes I don't understand. So they attempted a prison break there, but the government of Chad, is now saying everything is under control. It was just trying to minimize and to encourage social distancing. Yes.
The conversation you are making is very interesting. You are saying prisoners wanted to break out to go and meet Mr. Corona.
Because they're being told they cannot be visited. Yes, so they were mad. They wanted to leave the prison now.
Yes, we have this sentiment like the deputy governor of police.
Yes.
He has arrived from Area 1 alert of Germany in Europe through France and arrives. So there's no difference between the prisoners and this prisoner outside. The only difference is that the prisoner outside has a wall which he has to break through.
Yes.
But the cliff governor has no wall. In summary, there is one point that I had for what the president said. They are here now. Mm-hmm. President Uhuru Kenyatta said, all Kenyans, wherever you are in the country, will enjoy access to high-speed internet affordable services. Point number 2, Kenyatta said, President, we are working on initiative to support private sectors during this period and ensure they continue paying Kenyans. Point number 3, President Kenyatta said, I want to emphasize on the need of each and every one of us to follow protocols laid down by the Ministry of Health of Kenya. By following the guidelines, I'm sure, I quote, we shall overcome the pandemic. Point number 4, President Uhuru Kenyatta has vowed to severe action against Kenyans who will violate rules spelled out by the Health Ministry to arrest and spread the COVID-19. If you violate any of those rules, those are the main things that came out of President Uhuru Kenyatta's speech today, a few minutes ago at the State House in Nairobi. Viewers, so far, that is so far where we are. But don't forget, always Punchline Africa Television. We are digital. We were digital 4 years ago. We foresaw some of these things that one day TV could not be able to be seen physically. We can transmit it through the waves. And thanks God for our knowledge and our expertise. Miriam, we have kept this station working. And we are the only digital platform, bigger digital platform in this country that talks about these issues of Africa and the issues of Kenya and the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. That's what we do. And the talk about the legacy is we have not forgotten is because COVID-19 has overtaken most of the events, but our program still continue at 3 p.m. Still COVID. I think you know the topic. I don't know what the topic is. You can tell them we shall be together with you. I will be commanding it from here on COVID, on international diplomatic links. The show is going to be tough show, very excellent show, where we shall look at what takes place at. Yeah, we shall look at national and international security risks of COVID-19. I think that's a very great topic. The other day we looked at international security. And believe me or not, Miriam, this COVID is also bringing national security. So that people don't forget, as much as we are fighting the disease, there is national security and international security. You had terrorists also planning to do certain things. So we must keep every section of the world alert. There is no now sharing of information. The going back home, the lockdowns in some countries has made gangs to unite to go and break shops. You must anticipate that. There will be quite a lot of robberies around the world. People who have been waiting to steal banks, to rob banks. This is a security problem that we must dissect on this television station. Thank you very much.
All right, and even as we...
I'm told I will sing something for you before you finish.
All right, and even as we about to wind up, some new information coming in from Nigeria about the COVID-19. The latest updates now says that there has been some 5 new cases that have been confirmed. Total confirmed cases now in Nigeria has gone up to 36. Active cases are 33. I don't know active cases, what that means. I think the ones that are maybe severe. So active cases are 33, total people who have been discharged are 2, and I think Nigeria has registered 1 death. So that is the latest, I think, update that happened at around 10:35, the latest from that. And so the first COVID-19 death in Nigeria has been recorded. The case was a 67-year-old male who returned home following medical treatment in the UK. Seems to have had a pre-existing condition there, so Nigeria registers its first death here. And of course the authorities, just before we end, I think we're about to... Authorities in Uganda, Doctor, are trying to track down 84 passengers who were on an Ethiopian airline flight with a man who tested positive for coronavirus. They have called on the travelers to come forward for screening. On Saturday, Uganda's Health Minister Ruth Jane Aceng had said all of them were in quarantine and could easily be monitored. However, that was not the case, and the passengers have been let go and told to self-isolate.
Let me tell you, Miriam.
Yes.
You know, Ethiopian Airlines it has become a supplier of it is picking people who have been refused the entry into Europe and distributing them everywhere in the continent. I don't know why the Ethiopian government does not pull this airline down for some time. You see, let's put profit aside and save lives. That's why most of the airline, the first country to put profits aside was America. America told you, don't come. They sealed all the borders, nothing came. And I'm just trying to tell you just trying to be honest and just being honest. Ethiopian Airlines in Rwanda, it delivered. In Uganda, it delivered. Now Kenya, it still continues to fly. It should cut down. People, wherever they are being told, stay where you are. Let's wait. After 2 weeks, you can start flying. Even if you charge us higher to compensate what we lost, we shall pay to go. But for now, please, Ethiopian Airlines, I don't know whether we should write a note to the Ethiopian ambassador.
No, they halted. I think they've halted all their flights, the latest now.
Okay, thank you very much.
But also, Doctor, the thing was, the Ugandan government had said anybody who goes into the country, the directive was to have these people in quarantine. But as it were, apparently these people are told to go and self-isolate, so they can't even be found. That is a huge risk. 84 passengers.
So where did they go? Uganda will find them.
They're looking for them.
Yes, Uganda will find them. Uganda security are not the Nyumba Kumi, the LC1, LC2, LC3, they will find them. They better be found. And they come out openly. Tell the world that I have a problem. Yes, Miriam, let's not hide. Because this, if you hide, you extend the thing to another person. So, as I told you, in America, as people were buying medicine, people were buying guns. People were queuing to buy guns in America to protect their property. So it is an international security issue. And in other places, we are fighting against Al-Shabaab with this disease. What are the effects? What is the impact? I think that is the paper that we are going to work on, the research that I have put together, the impact of security on security worldwide and national governments. We cannot keep quiet and people tell us not to talk about the impact of security. And then you sleep, then Al-Shabaab comes in to bomb us. This is also important. Or you sleep and Al-Qaeda comes in to kill people in Boko Haram areas. No, we should alert the world. There is no exchange of information. You can see information must be exchanged on criminal activities. We know there is no movement of every nature is calming down slowly. But those terrorists who have already planned and saw this coming could be already within us. So we have to be careful, watch left, right, center, up, front, behind, inform the police. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I want to sing a song for you. For you, yes.
Okay, I'm listening. Let me come closer.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miriam. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you now? Happy birthday to you. On behalf of Punchline Africa Television and on behalf of the staff, management, satellite operators in Berlin, Germany, and on behalf of all our listeners, I wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Thank you.
No flowers.
Thank you.
No movement closer. That's why I've run even hundreds of thousands of miles.
All right.
In my way.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
I owe you flowers after 2 weeks.
Thank you.
But M-Pesa, there is plastic money that we can use. Yes. Send something for you to have chocolates.
That is very welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Since
Thank you
you
so
don't
much.
drink, since you don't drink.
John Clark, I'm 36. I'm not 35.
Who? No, but why is Clark? Why is Clark so interested?
It's okay. It's we're not fighting. Thank you so much,
Yes.
and thank you for the love. Thank you for
Why is
for
Clark
the
so
song.
interested in
Doctor, thank you so much for the song. I appreciate.
This is not. Mr. Clark, thank you very much for watching our television station.
Yes.
Continue watching, spread the message.
Yes.
We are online. Go back and see our programs, follow the guidelines, and don't forget this.
All right.
Yeah? You have
Dominic.
it?
All right, Dominic Nwando,
You have
thank you
it?
too. Yes, I do have my sanitizer. It's
Please, don't forget this.
I think it's a basic requirement now.
Do the best you can.
Yes, I am. We need to keep safe.
God helps those
Who help themselves.
themselves.
Very true.
Katonda ayamba abeyamba. Mungu anasaidia wale wa Kiswahili yangu kidogo sana.
Wale wanaojisaidia.
Yes. Wale wanakisaidia.
Yes.
Asanteni sana. But
right.
Tanzania, what is happening to Magufuli?
Well,
No, people are leaving. No.
people are leaving, but even I think here the government gave directive for any country that wants to get its nationalities out of Kenya.
No,
they have
said
until tomorrow. Yes.
People should not sit at home. They should work.
Oh no.
You didn't hear. That's what Tanzania has said. Work.
That is not nice.
But one of the things that I have said is because Tanzania, I've said it elsewhere in KBC, where over 22 million people were listening to me. Tanzania has a social system. Tanzanians are very receptive to their leadership. And when they tell them, unawa mikono, watanawa. Sisi, Uganda na Kenya, tuko na madharau. Tunadharau uongozi wetu, tunadharau wachifu wetu, tunadharau wa president yetu, tunadharau wa minister wetu. Until we are struck is when we cry, President, the government. Lakini tutaki kusikiliza maneno ambayo inasemwa na serikali. Watanzania wanapenda rais yao, wanapenda serikali yao, wana na social contract yao. Kwa hivyo Watanzania, watu kwa nchi dunia ya continent ya Afrika, Watanzania wako na social contract. If they say wash your hands, every Tanzanian is washing his hands without excuse. And that is how they are. But here we have to emphasize, you saw the bishops yesterday, Miriam. Men who always I meet in town, they greet me, how are you, doctor? How are you, Dr. Masak? I will not greet them again. Because their churches were the ones that brought in more people. They called people to come, then they had been told, what is it? Where did we get this mercantile capitalism status of looking for teeth and the fundraising to be arrived at your place? No. Thank you very much. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Have a nice one. And you will pass by with Stephen, and maybe chocolate will be available.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much.
At 3 p.m., top of the hour, hot, security, 3 p.m., isn't it?
Yes.
3 p.m.,
Yes.
we have about 2 hours
To
to
prepare.
relax and get our brains together.
Yes, indeed.
It is going to be a good show. Very fantastic show.
All right. So we see you at 3 p.m. and thank you so much, John.
And let's
and the
look
rest
at
of
the
you.
Google.
Yes.
Advertise. I don't know whether Fred can do an advert of punchline. Small, that's it. Small one. We put it there. Let's play it. You can read over it. This is Punchline Africa Television Broadcasting all the way from Nairobi. The command post, political command post. Back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody that made this show a success. Thank you so much for engaging with us. And thank you so much for the wonderful wishes. Let's meet here at 3 p.m.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.